What is up, guys? Welcome back to another NBL Supercoach video. This time it is the NBL Round 7 review. Look, another disappointing week. Yeah, look, I know I'm getting this out super late. As we can see, it's literally game day. It's 10 a.m. I've got work in an hour, so I'm going to smash this one out as quick as I can. Honestly, it's one of those things where every morning I've sort of woken up on the Tuesday, on the Wednesday, on the, today, and been like, I need to make it before work. But I'm kind of addicted to Marvel Snap at the moment. I'll be like, I'll just play a few games to wake up the brain. And then next thing I know, an hour's passed, and it's like, shit, I need to go. So sorry about that. Realize my trades need to be reversed, so just going to quickly do that. But I would like to appreciate all those that have tuned in, liked, and subscribed for the consistent injections of Supercoach content directly into their YouTube feed. I know it hasn't been a great season so far. I'll just quickly jump back to the screen so we can see we scored a 420. Went up 68 places to 2,788. Yeah, very mid, very mid. Honestly, the trades this week couldn't have frustrated me more. So jumping to the team, the trades we did make is we did go Cam Oliver. That's right, Cam Oliver to Pinder, which was a net negative of 36 points. That's pretty annoying. We also went Webster from Menenga, which is 31 points on the bench, 16 points. So we threw 52 points down the toilet this week purely off that fact. Yeah, I just don't know how this could happen. I just don't know how Cam Oliver... Look, his game last week, his game one was sensational, and I was ready to keep him for this. But then game two, he got put in the doghouse, didn't play any minutes, and I was like, okay. He's done something in that first game. I think the very obvious thing was last week in the first game, he got very angry when he didn't get onto the court for the last 6-7 minutes. Felt like he could win them the game, and clearly I thought something had been said then, because then he got put in the doghouse for game two. So that was more or less the reason we moved him, because we're like, okay, he's clearly done something that's pissed off Gorgeous, and he's getting wrecked for it. And then this week, out of nowhere, he goes from the guy in the doghouse to their guy, to the man that they needed. Like the center of their offense, they wanted it, the ball in his hand 24/7. He got tons of court time. Kelly LePepe got thrown out the back door. Who could have seen this coming, that out of nowhere LePepe just gets no court time and Oliver gets stacked with like 30 minutes. He literally had the most court time in the game in game one. Not sure about game two, but it's just like, I just didn't see that coming, and that's very frustrating. He went up like 30-something K as well, which is insane because we held this guy through so much. He went down to like 250K. Yeah, 35K. So 252K he'd gone down, so he'd lost us 25K, and then this week actually would have put us in the positives. So that just really hurt. That was the most frustrating thing about this round, just watching Oliver go off and feeling so mad that I'd traded him, because we do know that my other trade talk last week was Pinder, Oliver, and then I was bringing in McCoy, and I decided to go away from that. I decided to bring in Webster when I heard he was named, and I don't think that was like incorrect, but god damn did it hurt. I'm just going to quickly jump to the break-even game, and like, we can see McCoy came in and made 41K. We could have had a guy that actually scored more than Webster on our bench in a single, because he scored 27 and made 41K, and then had him to just generate cash this week. So that's super frustrating. Alex Higgins, who saw this coming? I mean, in reality, this is always a low-risk play. It was low-risk, high-reward, but I guess the question was, is he even going to see the court? Next thing you know, he's starting. And unfortunately, it's way too late in the week to know that. Like, if this is an earlier game and, the first game of the round where you can still adjust trades and you see he's starting, you're probably bringing him in. But it's way later in the round. Players have already played. There's no way you bring him in unless you had him. And he made 54K too, so, like, congrats for anyone there. And yeah, as I said, low risk because he was guaranteed to make money. So even if he was poor, you make money, then you get off him. If he's good, then great. You go to the moon with him and you make insane money. And that's what he's done. He's good scoring and insane money. And he almost matched Pinder 35, and Pinder had 38 on a double. Like, so frustrating to see that. Then we have Lopez, second highest scorer of the round, minus 18 break even. Went nuts. I, first of all, just didn't realize how long this kid is. Like, he's that classic, 6'10", skinny, long kid with massive hands. I don't know if this just sticks in everyone else's mind, but when he drives to the basket on Goulding, who we know is not a good defender, but he just palms that ball, and for someone who has very small hands, that's just unbelievable. He just palmed it so easily, moved Goulding out of the way, and just put it in the ring, and you're like, damn. And look, last week he did look good. I wasn't doubting that, but I kind of was looking at his schedule thinking it dries up for a little bit. We don't have to force it. But Darling was out. In reality, this was definitely the play, obviously. And just a little bit unfortunate there. For those that got on him, congrats. He made 70k, which is insane. With this minus 18 break even as well, it just feels like you have to still get on him, which is just unbelievable. Bairstow did some good things for those. Menenga bouncing back 2, puts down 51. I thought it was 55, but he put down 51 on the double. Yeah, 51 on the double. That's very frustrating because we brought Menenga in because we thought the first 2 games of the season he was their guy. We're like, this is it. This is Menenga. Bring him in. First 2 weeks we own him. Absolute trash. And it's like, okay, this just ain't the guy we thought it was. Our bad here. The second we trade him, it just seems to be how the season goes. The second we trade him, he's the guy. He's getting fed the ball early on. He's scoring inside. He's taking it to the rack. And then that seems to be like building his confidence. So later on when he catches a 3 ball, he was draining them. And you're like, oh my God, he's crushing them inside. He's crushing them outside. He didn't really do much besides score. His other stats were actually pretty lackluster. So it is a bit score reliant. And then Hickey again, Cal out, up 42k, gets a 33, minus 4 break even. Cool, comes in with like another 30. He'll make another 30 something k. Ends up at like 310k for owners, 320k for owners, like just unbelievable. Krislovich, Magne, I believe, was named out. He got 41 this week. He could be someone you bring in for a quick cash grab, but just say hypothetically he goes like 25 over the 2 games. He'll make you 29k. Magne comes back, and then it's like, so what? We can honestly bring these guys in, and you make just like guaranteed sort of money. And I guess the last one I'm going to bring up is Armstrong is a break, like in case of emergency, break glass. I talked about last week bringing him in because he was meant to be back, and then once again he just got delayed, and somehow what was originally noted as a 1-week injury ended up like a 5-week injury, which is insane. So he's just going to be noted as an in case of emergency, break glass, bring in Taron Armstrong. Yeah, but very disappointing from Webster. First game, 19. Now, we know he was on a minutes restriction, and that's fine. First game, he gets a 19. I'm like, that's fine. That's kind of what we want. And we know he has a low floor, but that game, too, threw away a lot of turnovers and just, yeah, 5 points in the second game, really painful. I guess the only positive is we didn't have him on field. Other positives, like we had Henshaw, which was great. I mean, he outscored Pinder, so people that just ran Henshaw on field, great work. Sobe did really good things. PJC did good things, and unfortunately the first week we have Captain Cooks. This is actually the first time we've done it all season, and he goes back-to-back 26s. Like, literally, like, his second lowest score of the season. I think his lowest score outside of that was a 19 he picked up earlier in the year. So yeah, he picked up a 19, and outside of that he hadn't gone below 34. We captain him, and he goes for back-to-back 26s. That's just obviously insane, but also a part of the Oliver effect. Oliver comes in and just completely affects that, so super, super frustrating. It just feels like every move I'm making this season is the wrong move. It's the wrong way. I mean, yeah, as I said, we could have traded Robertson this week, held Oliver, and brought in McCoy, but nope, we went hold Robertson because I want Webster. And I said, I don't think Webster was the worst thing, but it was the right idea, it just didn't pan out. And that's just sometimes how it is. So, yeah. This week, trades-wise, I think it's very obvious that Cooks just goes. The rest of these guys are all on doubles. And who are we bringing in? And I'm actually going to be bringing in Lopez. Straight up facts, this kid's got a crazy low break even. He's really good. I think Darling's out for at least the next 2 weeks, so at least until the FIBA break, I believe. So yeah, he's only got 2 singles over that time. But the good news is that means that his rolling average is going to be good for a longer period of time. Because it's not going to instantly cycle these games out. Also, who could have seen a 51 coming? Absolutely insane. I mean, he did technically get that 37 when he got the court time, but yeah, really just didn't see this bounce back. This was, not bounce back, didn't expect it to reciprocate the following weeks. But yeah, he's a starter. He's a star. I believe that if you looked at it, it said if he gets 223s, he's going to make 70k over the next 2 weeks. So yeah, 223s, he's going to make 70k. 23 in his wheelhouse. We're looking at his last 3 scores. His lowest score is 27, so it's definitely in his wheelhouse. And then what happens after those 2 singles? Then he's on doubles for 3 games in a row. So you either get him now at 214k, or you have to pay up like probably 280 to 290k for him in 2 weeks' time. And that just sounds awful. because he seems like a genuine on-field option. He seems like, worst case scenario, he can ride your bench for basically the whole season because of how good New Zealand's run is. He makes, maybe let's just say, that's probably not worst case scenario. Worst case scenario is he makes you a ton of money and then you have to trade him because he's no good. That's the worst case scenario. He still makes a ton of money. So it's low risk, once again, high reward. So we definitely make this trade, and then it leaves a lot of money in our bank, and there's so much we can do with this, but at the same time, not quite. Because I want to get Robinson out. Like, if I look at these guys, the guy I need to go out, it's Robinson. The other guy I could move is potentially Glover, because that extra 7k does a wonder for us. Because we bring it in at 33k, all of a sudden we're 2k short of Doolittle. Very annoying there. The only other one that I'd be looking at is, it's Harrison, but you can't see him unless I go to the forwards. Sorry, to the centres, but it's 1k short of Harrison. So we end up just short of the 2 players I wanted, unfortunately. And obviously the 7 extra k from Glover means that I can get a Christian Doolittle. He's going, oh god. Talk about break glass in case of emergency. That's okay. I've still got 20 minutes to leave, guys. That was just an alarm to make sure I'm on it. Yeah, we cool. We cool. Now, yeah, I could bring in Doolittle, who's going into, I'm pretty sure, Tasmania without Will Magnay, so he could be good. Saying that, Cooks was kept down against Tasmania. But then also Melbourne, who's not bad either. Like, it's not great matchups, unfortunately. So it does make me feel a little bit iffy. He's got a high break even. I don't really have to force him in if I don't want to, but I think he's the second best captain option this week. I'd say Jack White's my number 1, then Doolittle's probably number 2. So you're bringing in someone that I'm pretty confident is going to score quite well. Or I could just go all in for the money. And we could just bring in Alex Higgins, who started this week. Obviously Bradshaw's out and I didn't expect him to start over that. I mean, obviously Galloway's not their guy. They had Rob Edwards getting suspended, so he's gone. Armstrong should be back and Groves should be back, so that might affect him. But I guess the crazy thing with Higgins is it's like he starts, so he got big minutes then, but then the game ended up a blowout, and because it was a blowout, they ran all their bench guys, but he also got the blowout burn minutes as well as a development player. So he gets the starting role, and then he gets the development player blowout minutes as well, which just worked very well in tandem. And with Rob going out, I could definitely see him getting that again. Maybe that's starting. Maybe there's probably going to be a blowout, so he probably gets in. And once again, just a low risk, high reward sort of play, because his break even just over the 2 weeks, if he gets 218s, which to be fair are quite high, he will make about 65k, so close to that 70k as well. So these two guys, you know, almost guarantee they're going to make money. It's low risk, high reward. Great. If you were on him before, that's awesome. If you're not on him now, if you do bring him in, it's just he's got that 35 in his next 2 rolling averages. Because of that, it keeps his break even low. So he just needs to really hit the court, do a few things, and he'll make big money. The problem with this strategy is it leaves me in a position where if we just look at on-field options, it's a little bit of a mess in this sense. And then it's PJC versus Webster. Let's just say we're going to throw Webster on field. Captains, I'm probably looking at a Sem captain personally. I'm probably just going to put Hurt as the one just because they are into Cairns, who haven't been the best inside. Saying that, Hurt's rebounds have been really down, but then also Derek Walton Jr. might be coming back with a minutes restriction, so that could affect Selby. Also, they're into Sydney, who's, you know, Qual. I forget the other defender who shoots threes really well, but they have a few good 3-and-D guys, so Selby might get shut down that way. But then into Cairns, he probably runs over them. I think Hurt, at least with the high floor, we're probably looking at the safest sort of good captain score. I feel very confident in him going over 50. And he could end up being like the highest scorer of the round, scoring like 60 points in the round. That's just the kind of round it feels like it could be. I'd feel more confident with Doolittle, but this is just, it's just the option we've got. Yeah, that's how we would look if we went for Higgins, Titchener, and it's all about just sort of building money. Saying that, we don't need an insane amount of money because we have this Brisbane run coming up where we're going to have Brisbane players in our team for a long time. And if we do just quickly look at Brisbane players, they're not crazy expensive. they're not crazy expensive at all. Like, we can get Harrison in the center spot. Let's say Cooks or Bateman in at a guard spot. You probably want Prather at this 200k, Bannon at this 280. Let's just round those two up to like 500k between them, 330k. Let's just round this up to 600k between them. That's 1.1 million, and you've basically got 4 starters there. If you want to bring in Cooks as well, it's 1.3.5 million at that point. Let's just say worst case scenario, you're looking at 1.4 million for 5 starters. Let's just say your team value, which we saw mine, it's about 2.6 now. Then we just need 5 players on the bench. Even if we have, that's 1.2 million over 5 players. It's over 200k per player. It's about just over 240k per player. So you can still have a few good expensive guys on the bench and some cheaper guys. So we don't actually need like an insane amount of money with this Brisbane run, but you will want PJC for a lot of that, so he'll eat up a lot of that. Leads for about 800k for the other 4 guys, so that you're looking at like 200 between them. I guess you don't need insane money, so we don't have to go for this like crazy cash play. The other thing though is if we do end up with this crazy cash play, then hey, maybe we end up in a position where we do have enough money to like still hold a really good bench at the same time. I think Zakowski, unfortunately, as much as his sucked and everyone wants to trade him out, and I do want to really trade him out, I am just thinking it's a waste of a trade. Like, the guys I'm moving to around him, unless I'm going to like an Alex Titchener, it's not really anyone. But the problem is I need someone in the center position. So if I am looking at a center player to bring in instead of Rocco, it's at a cheap price. There's not really anyone. Like, maybe I can force my way up to Menenga, and great for those that did get a Menenga. Almanza, he's doing a lot better than Zakowski at least. But it feels like I'm not gaining too much. Even this week, I mean, 24 points. It's 12 points overall. But Rocco's got a good run coming up, so once he hits these singles, let's say that's 13, Rocco scores 4. Even then, we're maybe giving up 8 points, which is 4 points on the bench. Yeah, I just don't think it's all that crazy. I mean, Gak actually could be the shout to make a move there. With Magne out, he probably gets the minutes. He's on a double. He probably scores decent. Break-even's 18, though. But then got to hold him for the season. I don't know. Look, we've had Rocco this long. He's going to come into his good run. We just hold him through it at the end of the day. I think it's just a waste of a trade moving him, so I'm going to keep him there. But yeah, I guess, as I said, the other trade options, if we don't go Higgins, Titchener, Oliver, God, you're so annoying. I can't believe that. And if we held Oliver this week and traded him, the extra money we made over Robertson, we could have made these plays very easily. I hate the idea of moving Glover just because I did this the wrong way. Whoops, let's cancel this. I hate the idea of moving Glover just because he does have that double at the end of the day. He has an 18 break even. It's not crazy high, but if he can come out with the 26, at least he makes a little bit of money there. But where we know Doolittle's probably going to lose money, so it does suck. As I said, we move out Glover, we bring in Christian Doolittle. I don't know, I'm just going to talk about the team for a second. So let's just look at this. What are we going to do next week? So next week, Hurt, he goes to either Harrison or Bannon. Sobey goes to Cooks or Bateman. Then we still field either Webster versus PJC. Then we still have Henschel on field, unfortunately, over that period of time. So it's not great. Where if I do bring Doolittle in, then we can move Pinder down or Harrison in. I don't like the idea of Harrison in, just because Harrison in gets a little bit awkward in the sense that Harrison in, then next week we have to run the center on the double because I have Zakowski and Harrison. So I don't really like that. So let's say Pinder comes down and Bannon comes in. So then we'd have what? Doolittle, Bannon, Pinder, let's just say Bateman and Webster. I don't feel so bad about that. That feels okay to me. And that feels pretty good, actually. That feels a lot better next week than having to run Henschel on field over like a Doolittle. That would be the big difference. So running Henschel on field over Doolittle, yeah, we're probably making a lot of money here, but we're probably losing a lot of points, let's be honest. So I do think we just force Doolittle in. We play the fixture. We force him in. Sorry, Tish. Sorry, Alex. We're just going to call him Alex. Life easy. I think we're just saying Higgins. Yeah, sorry, Higgins, you're out. And that means that we can bring Doolittle in, so I can afford to go here. We can flex Henshaw down. We can bring Doolittle in. Robertson's probably going to lose money too, so this kind of sucks in the sense that, hey, Robinson probably loses money. Doolittle probably loses money compared to two guys that are probably going to make money. One of them make a lot, one of them make a little, but probably a lot better points. So I think this is just a move I sort of have to make. It doesn't feel good, but it also means I bring in the guy that I think is going to be the better captain option this week. I do think he should probably go big against Tasmania. And he's a lot more mobile than the rest of the guys here. I don't know, Jack White. I feel a bit more confident about that. Yeah, I think Hurt or Doolittle, you're not really making a mistake there. I mean, if we do look at players for the actual captaincies, do I want to just make a pod play because I'm behind? I wouldn't mind that. I think Doolittle will be up there in the captaincies. He is actually behind Hurt. Wow, I did not expect that. White makes sense. PJC people haven't changed yet. Cook's people haven't changed yet. So he's going to be down. Yeah, Doolittle at 7. Okay, I can run Doolittle. I feel confident about that, considering I thought he was a better captain than Hurt. As I said, there's much of a muchness between them, but I think he's going to be the second best captain behind White. So I'm actually not too unhappy with that. I think maybe people are scared off because of what just happened in his most recent game. And that's fair enough, but I think I'll probably take the punt there. Hopefully he can put together 2 30-plus games, because we're seeing as a bit of a yin-yang. The problem is if he comes up with 2 30-plus games, then Pinto probably scores 2 15s, and we just want to kill ourselves. But that's going to be the team, guys. That's what's going to be for this week. It doesn't look good, doesn't feel good. As the next week, at least it's nice and straightforward. Bannon comes in, Bateman comes in. Cool. Then the week after that, PJC comes on. I could even move Lopez on if I want over Bannon. Trade out Robertson that week, which would be nice. And then we can figure out what to do with the other trade that week. So, yeah, that's the plan. Anyway, I appreciate all those that did tune into the video. Tuned in for this long. I feel like I rambled way too long as usual. Left myself 10 minutes to get out the door. Awesome. Plenty of time. But I do appreciate all you. Until next time, peace. Later.